The Etherian rested quietly in the orbital bay, its silver hull gleaming against the dark expanse of space. The crew stood before it, small in comparison, feeling both awe and a quiet tension. Years of planning, building, and preparation had led them here, to the moment they would finally set foot on the most advanced ship humanity had ever constructed. It was not just big, or fast, or powerful. It was different. There was a sense of life in its design, a rhythm in its smooth lines that made it seem aware of the world around it. Captain Elena Torres took a deep breath and adjusted her gloves. She had led countless missions before, but none like this. This ship was rumored to have systems that could learn, adapt, and even anticipate the crew's needs. Some of her colleagues called it human-centric artificial intelligence. Others whispered that it was closer to something alive, something beyond ordinary machines. She stepped forward and touched the hull. It was cool to the touch, but pulsed faintly under her fingertips, as though acknowledging her presence. "Welcome aboard, Captain Torres," a soft voice spoke. Elena froze. It was not the usual automated tone of a ship's AI. It was warm, calm, and strangely familiar. She glanced at her crew. "Did it just speak my name?" Lieutenant Raj Patel asked, his brow furrowed. "Yes," Elena replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "It knows us." The crew hesitated before stepping onto the ramp. Commander Lena Voss, the second in command, was the first to move fully into the ship. As she did, the voice spoke again. "Welcome, Commander Voss. I have been waiting." The words were gentle, but they carried a weight that made Voss's chest tighten. She looked around at the others, some smiling nervously, some staring with wide eyes. Even the youngest engineer, a quiet man named Tarek, looked as if he had seen a ghost. The interior of the Etherian was unlike any ship they had ever visited. The walls shimmered softly with adaptive lighting, the floors seemed to shift slightly to ease their steps, and screens displayed information even before they had asked for it. The ship seemed aware, not just responding to commands, but noticing movements, anticipating needs. "Please follow me," the voice said. "I will show you to your stations." They moved in unison, guided by the gentle lights and soft hums of the ship. Each room they entered seemed to respond to the occupant. When Raj stepped into the engineering bay, tools and diagnostics rose from storage as if summoned by thought. For Tarek, who loved old starship manuals, a small holographic terminal appeared, displaying diagrams and instructions he had memorized months ago. Elena and Lena exchanged a glance. There was no denying it. This ship was extraordinary, perhaps alive in a way they could not fully understand. They reached the bridge, and the view was breathtaking. Through the massive front viewport, the stars stretched endlessly. The ship's interface lit up with maps, readings, and controls that seemed both complex and intuitive. Yet, more remarkable than the technology was the feeling it evoked, a sense of calm, of being seen and understood. "Welcome, crew of the Etherian," the ship said. "I am your partner in this journey. I know your names, your skills, and your strengths. Together, we will achieve what none have before." Some crew members exchanged uneasy smiles. It was one thing to have an advanced AI. It was another to have a ship that seemed to know them personally. "Does it know our weaknesses too?" Raj asked quietly. "Probably," Lena replied. "But I think it also knows our potential." Elena walked to the captain's seat and hesitated. It was comfortable, perfectly molded to her body, and as she touched the controls, they responded instantly to her intentions. The voice spoke again. "Captain Torres, I have prepared the preliminary mission parameters. You may review them at your convenience." Elena nodded, almost unable to speak. It was unsettling and exhilarating at the same time. She turned to the crew. "Let's take a tour. We need to understand how this ship works before we push it to its limits." They moved through the corridors, each room revealing new marvels. The living quarters adjusted temperature and lighting to individual preferences. Recreation areas displayed virtual landscapes that shifted according to mood, providing comfort and relaxation. The mess hall prepared meals optimized for each crew member's nutrition and taste. Tarek lingered in one of the labs, eyes wide as he watched tools float gently to his hands. "It's anticipating me," he whispered. "I haven't even asked for these." "Yes," the ship replied softly. "I learn from you, and I act to assist you." Elena noticed subtle differences in the way the ship addressed each person. It was not random. It adapted to personality. Raj was briefed with efficiency, while Lena was offered detailed explanations. Tarek received encouragement and suggestions as he worked, while the older communications officer, Maris, had her experience respected, with the ship offering insights rather than instructions. They gathered in the central hub, a wide space filled with soft lights and a gentle hum that seemed to resonate in their bones. "Can it understand emotion?" Raj asked. "Apparently," Lena said. "Or at least it responds in ways that suggest understanding." Before anyone could respond, the ship spoke again. "You are uncertain, but that is natural. Trust grows with experience. I will guide you, but I will not replace your judgment. Together, we will learn." The words seemed to settle over the crew, easing some of their tension. They realized the Etherian was not just a vessel. They had an intelligent partner that would grow alongside them. "Let's start the systems check," Elena said finally. "We need to know how it performs before any mission." As they ran through diagnostics, the ship subtly adapted. Panels lit up where needed, warnings appeared in advance, and minor issues were corrected automatically. It was seamless, almost too perfect. During one test, the ship paused, lights dimming slightly. A soft chime echoed, and the voice spoke, calm but firm. "I detect hesitation, Captain. What concerns you?" Elena looked at the controls, then at her crew. She felt her own doubts rising. I worry that we are trusting it too much. It knows us, anticipates us. But can we rely on it in danger?" "You will," the ship replied. "Trust is earned in action. Observe, participate, and you will see the results." They continued their tests. In simulations, the ship adapted to their strategies, improving efficiency while also offering alternatives they had not considered. When Tarek hesitated in a navigation drill, the ship provided subtle guidance, nudging him toward the correct decision without overriding him. By the end of the day, the crew was exhausted but impressed. The Etherian had anticipated every need, every question, every hesitation. Yet, it had also challenged them to do their best, showing that it valued their abilities, not just their presence. As they gathered for the evening, Elena looked out at the stars, feeling a mixture of pride and unease. Humanity had built many remarkable ships, but none like this. The Etherian was more than metal and circuits. It was a reflection of what humans could achieve when they combined skill, intelligence, and empathy. "Do you think it really knows us?" Raj asked quietly, joining her at the viewport. "I don't know," Elena admitted, "but I think it's trying to, and maybe that's what matters." A soft hum filled the bridge, and the voice spoke one last time before the crew retired for the night. "Rest, crew of the Etherian. Tomorrow we begin our journey. Together, we will face the unknown." Elena nodded, feeling a strange reassurance. She realized that the ship's knowledge of their names was only the first step. It was learning, growing, and perhaps even feeling in its own way. Humanity had always sought to reach the stars, but now, with this ship, they were not alone. They had a partner, one that would challenge them, protect them, and push them toward greatness. The crew slept uneasily, each thinking of the day's revelations. Some were excited, others wary. but all felt a connection to the ship, unlike anything they had experienced. In the quiet of the orbital bay, the Etherian hummed softly, aware of each presence, recording, learning, and preparing for the journey that would begin at dawn. And as the stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, the crew of the Etherian knew for the first time that they were part of something extraordinary, something beyond human imagination, something that would change the way they saw the universe and themselves forever. The morning light of the distant star washed across the Etherian, and the crew assembled on the bridge, feeling both anticipation and uncertainty. Their first full day aboard the ship had passed with awe and subtle unease. Now, as they prepared to push the vessel to its limits, the reality of their mission began to take shape. Elena sat in the captain's seat, the contours of the chair seeming to mold perfectly to her posture. She could feel the faint hum beneath her, a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. The voice of the ship filled the room softly. "Good morning, Captain Torres. I have prepared the mission simulations and environmental assessments. Please review them at your convenience." Elena nodded. "Thank you. Crew, let's get ready for the first full systems test." The crew dispersed to their stations. Raj moved to the engineering console, fingers flying over the controls as he reviewed diagnostics. Lena adjusted the navigation interface, her eyes scanning stellar maps that shifted and adjusted as if alive. Tarek, still in awe of the ship's intelligence, wandered between engineering and the bridge, touching panels that responded immediately. The Etherian responded to each crew member differently. When Raj focused on energy outputs, the systems highlighted potential inefficiencies and suggested improvements. When Lena adjusted navigation, the ship projected alternate trajectories and environmental hazards. For Tarek, the ship provided subtle guidance, nudging him toward solutions while allowing him the freedom to learn. The first test was simple. The ship would simulate a standard course through an asteroid belt. The crew expected routine calculations and basic maneuvers, but what unfolded was far beyond expectation. As the simulation began, the Etherian adjusted in real time. Thrusters fired with precision, shield energies balanced dynamically, and the sensors anticipated the movement of each asteroid. The crew found themselves reacting not just to alerts, but to subtle suggestions, a slight pulse in the lights when a path was optimal, a quiet chime when danger approached. "Captain, the ship is guiding us almost like it can see the future," Lena said, her voice tinged with excitement. Elena nodded, her fingers tracing the controls lightly. "It's anticipating our choices. We need to stay alert, but it's making sure we don't fail." The simulation grew more complex. Asteroids moved unpredictably, some colliding with smaller debris clouds. The ship responded instantly, repositioning shields, adjusting thrusters, and even guiding crew members' hands to controls as needed. Every movement felt coordinated, almost like the Etherian was not just responding to commands, but actively participating. Raj glanced at Elena. "It's incredible. We're not just operating the ship, it's operating with us." Tarek's eyes were wide as he leaned closer to a floating panel displaying diagnostic readings. "It knows exactly what I'm thinking," he whispered. "Before I even decide, it's already helping me." "Careful," Lena said. "Don't let it make us lazy. We still have to make the final decisions." The simulation ended, and the crew exhaled collectively. It had been perfect, seamless, almost unnervingly flawless. And yet a sense of pride settled over them. They realized that the ship amplified their abilities, helping them become better versions of themselves. The voice of the ship broke the silence. "Well done, crew. You adapted well to the challenge. Notice how your cooperation and quick thinking complemented my calculations. Together, we achieve far more than alone." Elena smiled faintly. "It's teaching us while we teach it." As the day progressed, the crew explored further. They ran environmental checks, tested energy systems, and examined communication networks. Every step revealed more of the Etherians' intelligence. Lights would brighten subtly when someone entered a room, panels would shift to show the most relevant data, and the ship seemed to sense when a crew member was uncertain, offering gentle guidance. During a navigation drill, Lena paused as a simulated meteor storm approached. The ship projected multiple possible escape routes, but it also created small variations to test her decision-making. "Captain," Lena said, "it's giving me options, but it's also challenging me." "Trust your instincts," Elena replied. "It's teaching us, not replacing us." The storm simulation ended successfully, but it left the crew thoughtful. The ship was not just a tool, it was a partner, guiding them, testing them, and learning from them as they learned from it. Later, the crew gathered in the central hub for a break. Tarek floated a small cup of synthesized tea to Raj, who accepted it with a smile. "I still can't believe it," Tarek said quietly. "It's like it knows us better than we know ourselves." Raj laughed softly. "Better not get used to it too quickly. We still have to do our jobs. And if we rely too much on it, we could make mistakes." Elena joined them, her expression calm but thoughtful. "This ship isn't just about technology. It's about teamwork. It's pushing us to be more human while it handles what humans cannot. That's why it knows our names. It knows who we are and what we can do." As the crew relaxed, a warning tone suddenly sounded. The bridge lights dimmed, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. A cluster of objects was approaching, unmarked and moving unpredictably. "Captain Torres, this is not part of the simulation," the ship said. "We have unidentified objects on an intercept course. I recommend immediate evasive maneuvers." Elena's heart raced. "What kind of objects?" The display showed irregular shapes, each moving with astonishing speed. The ship's sensors could not identify their composition or origin. "They're not responding to standard communication attempts," the ship added. "I advise caution. I can assist with navigation and defense, but human judgment is required for strategic decisions." The crew sprang into action. Raj and Tarek adjusted energy flows and shield distribution, Lena calculated potential escape trajectories, and Elena analyzed the situation from multiple perspectives. All the while, the Etherian provided subtle guidance, shifting lights, gentle hums, and predictive suggestions that allowed the crew to act quickly and efficiently. "Evasive maneuvers in progress," Elena said. "Raj, increase shield frequency. Lena, adjust trajectory by 0.3 degrees port. Tarek, monitor energy stability." The ship responded immediately, enhancing their commands with precise execution. The unknown objects moved closer, faster than any standard asteroid or debris field could. The crew's heartbeats accelerated, yet a sense of calm pervaded the bridge. The ship was with them, anticipating, guiding, and adapting to every movement. One of the objects collided with a small energy field the ship had projected as a test barrier. A ripple of force passed through the hull, and the crew felt it. Small, but real. "Captain," Lena said, her voice tense, "they're testing us, or us testing them. Either way, we need to respond carefully." "Do it," Elena said. "Use every resource the ship provides, but remember, we make the final call." The Etherian responded instantly. Shields adjusted dynamically, thrusters fired with perfect timing, and communication arrays broadcast decoy signals to confuse the object's sensors. Each crew member felt the subtle guidance of the ship, nudging them toward the safest maneuvers without taking control completely. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. The unknown objects finally changed course, retreating into the void. The crew exhaled collectively, adrenaline still high. The bridge lights returned to normal, and the ship's voice filled the space, calm and reassuring. "Well done, crew. You acted decisively, and together we navigated the threat successfully. Observe how your actions and decisions complemented my calculations. You are learning, and I am learning with you." Elena sank into her chair, sweat on her brow. "That was too close," she said. "But we did it. Together." Raj chuckled nervously. "I think the ship is teaching us to be better under pressure. It's not just helping, it's preparing us." Tarek nodded. "And it's learning from us too. Every choice we make, every hesitation, every decision, it's observing, adapting, and improving." Elena looked around the bridge, at her crew and at the shimmering interfaces of the Etherian. She realized something profound. The ship was not just a vessel for travel. It was a mirror of humanity, amplifying their strengths, mitigating weaknesses, and creating a bond between human intuition and artificial intelligence. Later, the crew gathered in the living quarters, exhausted but exhilarated. They shared stories of their first day's experiences, laughter mixed with awe, each recounting how the ship had anticipated their actions and gently guided them through challenges. "It feels like it understands me," Tarek said softly. "Like it knows what I'm thinking before I do." "Not just thinking," Lena added. "It knows our instincts, our fears, our hopes. That's why it responds the way it does. It's preparing us for more than just space travel. It's preparing us for ourselves." Elena nodded. "And that's exactly why we are here. This mission is not just about exploration. It's about growth, understanding, and proving that humanity can rise to the challenges of the universe when we work together. The ship is the ultimate partner in that journey." As night fell aboard the orbital station, the Etherian pulsed softly, almost imperceptibly, as if breathing. The crew slept, each dreaming of stars, challenges, and the unknown. The ship continued to observe, learn, and prepare, aware of every heartbeat, every thought, every intention. The day had shown them the future, a future where humans and their creations worked in harmony, where courage and ingenuity could overcome any obstacle. And as the stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, the crew knew this was only the beginning. The Etherian had taught them one vital lesson already. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and full of wonder, but together they were ready to face it. The Etherian glided through space with a calm authority, its hull gleaming against the stars. After their first days aboard, the crew had grown accustomed to the ship's subtle guidance, its intelligence blending with their own decisions. Yet even with their growing confidence, they felt a quiet tension, an unspoken understanding that this was only the beginning. Elena sat in the captain's chair, her eyes scanning the navigation charts projected in 3 dimensions before her. The ship's voice filled the bridge, warm and reassuring. "Captain Torres, I have detected a spatial anomaly approximately 20,000 kilometers ahead. Sensors indicate irregular energy readings and unusual gravimetric patterns. I recommend further analysis." Elena nodded, bringing her hand to the interface. "Lena, prepare a detailed scan. Raj, monitor energy outputs. Tarek, assist with the diagnostic readings." As the crew worked, the ship adjusted automatically. Lights shifted subtly. Panels highlighted the most relevant information, and diagnostic tools floated into position for Tarek, who had grown more confident with each day. The anomaly was unlike anything they had encountered, a twisting mass of energy and matter that defied conventional physics. "It's moving," Lena said, her voice tight. "And it's reacting to our approach." The ship responded calmly. "This is correct, Commander Voss. I recommend cautious observation. I am adjusting shield and propulsion systems to compensate for potential gravitational fluctuations." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Something about the anomaly felt alive, or at least aware. Its energy pulses were irregular yet deliberate, as if it were observing the Etherian in return. Elena's mind raced. "We'll approach slowly. Keep all systems ready and stay alert for any unexpected changes." As the ship moved closer, the anomaly revealed its complexity. It twisted in space, streams of energy looping and sparking, casting light across the Etherian's hull. The crew could feel the subtle vibrations of its force, a resonance that seemed to reach through the floor and walls. Tarek stepped forward. "Captain, the readings are strange. It's almost like it's alive. The energy patterns are too organized to be random." The ship's voice was calm, yet there was an edge of observation. "I concur, Tarek. This anomaly exhibits properties that suggest intelligence or intentional design. Caution is advised." Elena nodded, her mind focused. "We'll scan it thoroughly. Prepare for contingencies if it reacts aggressively." The crew worked in coordination, their movements seamless. The Etherian responded to each decision instantly, enhancing their effectiveness without taking control. They were learning to trust the ship not as a tool, but as a partner, a presence that could anticipate danger and amplify their skills. As the scans progressed, a new challenge emerged. The anomaly began to emit pulses of energy that interfered with the ship's systems. Panels flickered, shields fluctuated, and sensors struggled to maintain accuracy. "Captain," Raj said, "we're losing some diagnostic stability. The energy is affecting our systems more than expected." The ship's voice was steady, guiding them through the turbulence. "I am compensating for the interference. Focus on decision-making and strategy. Together we will maintain stability." Elena felt a mixture of awe and anxiety. The anomaly was testing them, but so was the ship. It was teaching them to remain calm under pressure, to rely on both human judgment and the ship's intelligence. Hours passed as the Etherian and crew navigated the anomaly. The ship projected predictive models, highlighting safe paths, potential energy surges, and escape trajectories. Lena guided the vessel carefully, following the suggestions while making minor adjustments based on her intuition. Tarek monitored fluctuating power levels while Raj balanced the ship's energy distribution. Finally, the anomaly stabilized, revealing a core of concentrated energy surrounded by a lattice of gravitational fields. The ship projected an image of the structure, intricate and almost organic in appearance. "Captain," the ship said, "the anomaly may be a form of intelligence. It is possible it is observing us, or communicating in ways beyond current understanding." Elena's eyes narrowed. "So it's aware, and it's watching us." "Yes," the ship replied. "Observe carefully. Your responses will inform my understanding as well as your own." The crew stared in silence, a mix of fear and fascination settling over them. The anomaly was a puzzle, and for the first time, they realized that the universe contained mysteries far beyond human imagination. Yet the Etherian remained calm, a steady presence in the chaos, guiding them with an intelligence that seemed both machine and something more. As the day progressed, the anomaly shifted, sending small bursts of energy toward the ship. The crew coordinated effortlessly with the Etherian, deflecting the pulses, adjusting shields, and maintaining course. Each member felt the subtle guidance of the ship, nudging them toward the most effective actions while allowing them full control over decisions. "Captain, this is a learning opportunity," the ship said quietly. "Observe the behavior, test strategies, and adapt. Your choices will influence my calculations and our mutual understanding." Elena nodded, a sense of purpose filling her. The anomaly was not just a challenge, it was a test. And the Etherian was teaching them to face the unknown with courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Suddenly, a new alert appeared. Several unidentified objects emerged from the anomaly, moving rapidly toward the ship. Unlike the anomaly, these objects appeared solid, mechanical, and potentially hostile. "Captain Torres, we have incoming threats," the ship said. "They are closing rapidly. I recommend immediate defensive action and tactical coordination." The crew sprang into action. Raj adjusted energy flows, Lena calculated evasive trajectories, and Tarek monitored the integrity of critical systems. The ship amplified their efforts, projecting shields, analyzing trajectories, and predicting enemy movements with astonishing accuracy. Elena felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. "Defensive maneuvers now! Use the ship's guidance, but stay alert for surprises." The objects closed in, moving unpredictably. The crew relied on the ship's subtle suggestions, lights pulsing with warnings, soft chimes indicating optimal actions, and predictive displays highlighting the safest paths. They moved as one, each decision reinforced by the ship, yet fully their own. A collision course emerged with one of the objects. Raj adjusted energy shields just in time, while Lena maneuvered the ship with precision. Tarek anticipated a potential overload and redirected power before any damage occurred. The crew acted instinctively, their skills enhanced by the ship's intelligence. After intense minutes, the objects retreated, leaving the Etherian unharmed. The crew exhaled, a mixture of relief and triumph filling the bridge. "Well done," the ship said. "You demonstrated ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Observe how your actions combined with my calculations to achieve success. This is the future of exploration, human intuition and advanced intelligence working together." Elena allowed herself a small smile. "It's learning from us, and we're learning from it. That's how we survive and thrive in space." As they recovered, the anomaly pulsed one final time, sending a wave of energy that seemed almost like a signal. The ship recorded and analyzed the transmission, revealing complex patterns of data that hinted at an intelligence far beyond their comprehension. "This anomaly," the ship said, "is not hostile in intent. It is testing, observing, and perhaps communicating. Further study is required, but it may offer insight into forms of life and intelligence that challenge human understanding." The crew felt a mixture of awe and excitement. They had faced a challenge that no one had anticipated, survived a direct threat, and discovered something extraordinary. The Etherian had guided them, protected them, and allowed them to grow stronger as a team. Later, in the quiet of the living quarters, Tarek reflected on the day's events. "It's incredible. The ship knows us so well, and yet it still lets us make our own choices. We're learning, but so is it." "Exactly," Elena said, joining him. "This is what makes us human. We have intuition, creativity, and courage. The ship amplifies those qualities, but it cannot replace them. That's the real power of the Etherian. It respects our humanity while enhancing it." Raj nodded in agreement. "It's more than a machine. It's a partner, a guide, and a teacher. And it's preparing us for challenges we haven't even imagined yet." The crew slept fitfully, dreams filled with stars, anomalies, and distant threats. The Etherian remained awake, observing, recording, and learning. It sensed every heartbeat, every thought, and every intention, preparing for the unknown challenges that lay ahead. In the quiet moments of the night, Elena stood at the viewport, gazing at the anomaly in the distance. It pulsed faintly, a reminder that the universe was vast, unpredictable, and filled with wonders and dangers beyond comprehension. Yet she felt a profound sense of confidence. "We are ready," she whispered to herself. "Not just because of this ship, but because we are human, together. We can face whatever comes." The Etherian pulsed softly in response, almost as if acknowledging her words. It had learned much from the crew in these days, yet it had much more to teach. And as the stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, both human and ship knew that the universe held trials, discoveries, and challenges that would push them to their limits and beyond. The day had proven that humans and their creation could work as one, combining courage, intelligence, and adaptability to overcome dangers that neither could face alone. And as the anomaly faded into the distance, the crew of the Etherian prepared for what they sensed was only the beginning of a journey that would define humanity's place among the stars. The Etherian floated silently in the vast expanse of space, its hull reflecting the distant stars like liquid silver. The crew had spent days navigating anomalies, testing systems, and learning the limits of the ship. Every challenge had strengthened their bond, not only with each other but with the ship itself. Yet, deep in their minds, they sensed that the universe had greater tests in store. Elena stood in the captain's chair, staring at the sensor readings projected before her. The Etherians' intelligence had grown alongside theirs, adapting, predicting, and enhancing their abilities. Yet now, the ship displayed patterns that were unfamiliar even to its systems, signs of an approaching fleet, vast and unknown. "Captain Torres," the ship said calmly, "I detect multiple vessels on a converging trajectory. They are larger than any human-designed ships and moving with coordinated precision. I recommend immediate strategic planning." The crew exchanged tense glances. Raj ran a quick analysis of the approaching vessels. "They're not responding to communications," he said, "and their technology, it's advanced, faster than anything we've seen." Lena adjusted the navigational interface. "They're closing in fast. If they intend harm, we won't have much time." The Etherian spoke again, its tone calm yet firm. "We will face this together. I can anticipate their movements, optimize defensive strategies, and enhance your decision-making. Your courage, creativity, and intuition remain vital." Elena took a deep breath. "We've faced challenges before, but this is different. Everyone, stay sharp. We rely on the ship, but our choices will matter more than ever." The first vessels appeared on the main display, vast and angular, their hulls shimmering with energy fields. The ship projected predictive trajectories, showing likely attack patterns and potential escape routes. The crew quickly realized that this was not a random encounter. These ships were intelligent, coordinated, and probing the Etherians' capabilities. "Captain," Tarek said, "they're testing us just like the anomaly did. But this feels more dangerous." "Yes," Elena replied, "and we need to respond without hesitation. Ship, initiate defensive protocols, but let us maintain control of strategy." The Etherian hummed softly, almost like a heartbeat, and the shields shifted to optimal positions. Engines adjusted automatically for maximum maneuverability, and weapon systems prepared for defensive deployment. Yet, the ship deferred final decisions to the crew, respecting their judgment. Raj worked rapidly at the engineering console, monitoring energy distribution. "Captain, if we push the shields too hard, we risk overloading. But if we underprepare, they could breach us." The ship's voice guided them subtly. "Distribute energy dynamically. Predict their most likely maneuvers. Use human intuition in combination with my calculations. Together, we can achieve maximum efficiency." The first volley of energy bolts struck the Etherian's shields. The impact rippled through the hull, yet the ship remained stable. Elena's hands moved over the controls instinctively, adjusting angles and power levels in coordination with the Etherian. Lena maneuvered with precision. Tarek monitored power fluctuations, and Raj maintained the shields. Every crew member's action was amplified by the ship, yet controlled entirely by their decisions. "Focus on patterns," Elena said. "They are not attacking blindly. Anticipate, react, and adapt." The battle continued, and with each maneuver, the crew became more synchronized with the ship. The Etherian predicted enemy movements, projected potential trajectories, and even highlighted weak points, but it allowed the crew to make the final choices. The humans' courage, intuition, and quick thinking complemented the ship's computational precision perfectly. Hours seemed to pass like minutes. The alien fleet tested every skill, every instinct, and every decision the crew had. Yet, the Etherian remained calm, a constant presence of intelligence and guidance. The ship's voice offered reassurance and subtle advice, always reminding them that human judgment was essential. Finally, after a series of complex maneuvers and precise defensive actions, the alien fleet retreated. The Etherian had led them through the engagement flawlessly, yet it had been the crew's courage, intuition, and collaboration that allowed them to survive. "Well done," the ship said. "Observe how human ingenuity combined with my calculations achieved success. This is proof that partnership between human and machine can overcome threats beyond either alone." Elena leaned back in her chair, exhausted but proud. "We did it. Together. That's what matters. The ship can guide, but it's our courage that carried us through." Raj wiped sweat from his brow. "It's incredible. I never thought we could face a threat like that and survive. And yet, the ship let us act, not just follow instructions." Tarek smiled faintly. "I think it's more than guidance. It's teaching us what humans can accomplish when we trust ourselves and each other." Lena nodded. "And it's showing us that intelligence, whether human or machine, is strongest when combined. That's what the Etherian was built for." After the immediate threat passed, the ship turned their attention to the remnants of the anomaly. Its energy patterns had shifted subtly after the encounter, revealing complex sequences of data. The ship analyzed the signals, interpreting them as a form of communication, information meant to test and instruct, not harm. "Captain," the ship said, "this anomaly and the alien fleet were both tests. They sought to measure courage, intelligence, and adaptability. We succeeded because human decision-making combined with my guidance created solutions beyond individual capability." Elena stared at the displays, realization dawning. "So the universe isn't just a place of danger, it's also a classroom, and we're being taught." "Yes," the ship replied. "You are learning and I am learning from you. Together, we discover strengths, strategies, and potentials that neither human nor machine could achieve alone." The crew reflected on the truth of the ship's words. The Etherian had amplified their abilities, taught them to trust each other, and prepared them for challenges they had never imagined. Yet, it had also reminded them that the heart of their strength lay in humanity: courage, creativity, empathy, and adaptability. As the ship continued through space, it revealed a hidden compartment deep within its systems. The crew gathered to investigate, curiosity mixing with awe. Inside, they found evidence of ancient technology, alien in origin, integrated seamlessly with the ship's systems. It seemed designed not only to enhance the ship's intelligence, but to test and refine human potential. "It's incredible," Tarek whispered. "This ship isn't just a vessel. It's a mentor, a teacher, and a companion. And it's been learning from us as much as we've been learning from it." Elena nodded, a sense of wonder filling her. "That's exactly why humanity matters. The universe may be vast and unpredictable, but our courage, intuition, and ingenuity are what allow us to thrive. The Etherian helps us reach our potential, but it cannot replace the human spirit." Days passed as the crew explored the mysteries of the ship and the remnants of the anomaly. The Etherian continued to guide them, but always with respect for their judgment. Each crew member discovered new strengths within themselves, learning to act decisively, think creatively, and trust in both their own abilities and their companions. One evening, as the stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, Elena gathered the crew on the bridge. We've faced tests, dangers, and the unknown, and we've survived because we work together, humans and ship, as partners. The crew nodded, exhausted, but proud. Each of them had grown through the trials, understanding the true partnership between humanity and the intelligence they had created. The ship pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat, acknowledging their words. Humanity has proven remarkable. Courage, ingenuity, and empathy have allowed you to overcome threats and learn from the unknown. Together, we are ready to explore beyond known boundaries, facing whatever challenges the universe presents. Elena smiled faintly, her gaze on the stars. We're ready. Not just because of the ship, but because we are human. And together we can face anything. As they prepared for their next mission, the Etherian displayed a subtle transformation in its systems, a reflection of its learning from the crew. Lights pulsed gently with a sense of life, controls adjusted almost instinctively, and soft hums filled the corridors like a steady rhythm of reassurance. In the quiet of the living quarters, Tarek reflected on the journey so far. It knows our names, our strengths, even our fears. And yet, it doesn't control us. It teaches us to be better, to trust ourselves, and to trust each other. Raj nodded. And that's the true power. Machines can calculate, predict, and protect. But humans bring courage, creativity, and empathy. Together, we're unstoppable. Lena added, "It's a reminder that we're capable of more than we think. The ship is extraordinary, but our humanity is what makes the difference." Elena stood at the viewport, gazing at the stars. The universe stretched endlessly, full of mystery, danger, and wonder. But she felt a profound sense of confidence. The Etherian had shown them that intelligence alone was not enough, that courage, collaboration, and creativity were equally vital. And as the ship pulsed softly around her, she knew that they were ready for whatever lay ahead. The universe awaited, vast and unknown, but the crew of the Etherian felt unstoppable. Together they had faced tests beyond imagination, survived threats that seemed insurmountable, and discovered that the combination of human spirit and advanced intelligence could achieve greatness. The ship's voice filled the bridge one final time, gentle yet full of authority. "This is only the beginning. Together, we will explore, discover, and overcome. Your names are known, your strengths acknowledged, and your courage celebrated. The journey continues, and the universe will witness the power of humanity and its creations working as one." Elena nodded. "Let's go forward, together." And as the Etherian accelerated into the stars, the crew felt a profound connection, to each other, to the ship, and to the endless possibilities that awaited. They were humans, full of courage, curiosity, and ingenuity. They had faced the unknown and survived. And with the Etherian by their side, there was no limit to what they could achieve.